Let me see. What is going on? What's going on, family? But we are on day 23 with Jesus, day 23 to freedom, and we are on day 14 of 75 hard. We're going to go straight in, boom, protection in Jonah. So one of the questions, I'm going to say one of them because this is a pretty good one, of course. One of the questions that stuck out, of course, it says, can you recall a time where God protected you by redirecting your path and placing you in a holding pattern? What did you learn during that time? So, as we all know, if I'm correct, Jonah's protection is what I'm getting out of this was the fish, getting swallowed by the fish. I really hope that I'm right on this. I'm trying, guys. That was his protection is what I'm getting out of this section, right? And in my area, as well as in my life, I feel like there's so many things that he has done as far as protecting me that I didn't even realize as it was happening. Let me see if I can figure out a situation. I would say, this is probably strange because I didn't even think about but this comes to mind. It's like, for instance, losing a gig. Like, if someone writes me and I can't have a gig, like they say, hey, are you able to do this gig? And I work right now, so I got a normal 9 to 5s, so I'm not full-time media, which that's one of the major goals, is become full-time with my media work. So when they write me, it's like Monday through Friday, I'm literally like, unless it's like after 2, I can't make nothing happen. So I feel like, and what's so crazy is there's been so many people that has approached me recently. Not so many, I'm not gonna ask like it's hundreds. Many people that have approached me recently, wanting to know if I'm free for a gig, and it just blows my mind because every time they write, it's usually while I'm working. And it, to a sense, eats me up a little bit, but it gets to a point now where I'm just like, I kind of like just go off the fact of like, maybe I'm not supposed to have this gig. Maybe this one ain't for me. Maybe this one ain't for me, And I'll keep saying that because I'm the type that like I'll look at stuff and I'll just get all upset when it comes down to it and be just really down because I'm just like, man, why is this happening? Or why is this going on? Or why do I keep having to turn away, 1, money, 2, things like that. And I know money will come. It always comes. It really isn't about the money. It's the fact of turning down the gigs that possibly could lead to more gigs, So it does bother me. But if I was to flip that and try to understand the fact that like, maybe God's protecting me from these relationships. Maybe God's protecting me from the possible client that I'm shooting for, and maybe God's like, keeping these people away from me, or maybe, maybe that's the reason. That's why I'm just giving a like an example of possibility, maybe he's redirecting me. It could be, I don't know. So I feel like that's one thing, and as far as like, there's been jobs that I didn't land. I remember I applied for a job one time, and it, to me, man, I felt like it was a shoo-in because it was, I'm not gonna really say the company. A buddy of mine worked for a company that was like, was deep into the government, right? And of course, you got to do background checks and all this other stuff. I'm no criminal, don't get it twisted. But also they look at, your finances and all kind of different things. And I felt like this job was gonna be a shoo-in. I was like, man, I get to, travel the world and shoot stuff that like not the typical person would get to see, basically. It was truly like, I feel like God sent, basically, it was really awesome. But that's also right when I moved to Vegas. So as I'm sitting here like, praying and just saying like, this is it. I know this is it. And this is it. That's it. Because I'm right here at being the one for the job. Boom. Job falls through. I didn't get it. Not sure why. But it really hit bad because I was like, bro, this was right whenever I moved to Vegas too, like I said. So it was like one of those things where I was like, I can't believe this is gonna happen. This is so dope. This is so cool. Whoa, And I didn't get it, and it ate me up. It ate me up pretty bad because I was like, man, and that was one of the big hurdles. I was just like, this ain't gonna never happen. If I got a shoe in, someone's getting me in, why would it not happen? And it didn't. And now that I look back at it, I'm just like, it didn't happen for a reason. because this job would have required, I could have been in like helicopters, taking shots of, jets and different things like that. And, let's say I'm in a jet and it happened to go down, malfunction or something, or, I gotta look at the why, like there's a reason why I was kept. I'm not saying that's the reason, but what if that did happen? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get it because of something that would have led up to that possibly. So, that was another thing I got that happened, as far as, I guess like, what was it saying? Like God protected me by redirecting my path. You know what I'm saying? So that was another one right there. And let me see if there's another one in here, another question. Let's see. But like the different things, like this was a really good section as far as reading. And, even though I'm on day 23 with Jesus, it's like, if you want to know the truth, the more and more I read this, the more and more I'm starting to realize as I get to the end and closer to this, I'm going to, of course, open up my Bible more, and literally I feel like I'm just going to pick up from here into my Bible and just start flowing with that one, because that's what I feel like I'm at. And, really, just really grateful for a lot that I feel like is happening within myself lately. I feel like a lot of peace, a lot of understanding my emotion, as well as like before I give anything a reaction, trying my best to pull myself back away from it as well. Because like we're quick to give a lot of things reactions that aren't needed. You're driving down the road rage, cut somebody off, or there's a person that cuts you off. How you react to it? You chase them down, blowing the horn, yelling, "Hey, da 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 da," or you just realize that maybe that person's in a hurry, got somewhere that they really need to get to. That's probably way more important than you going to the store or you going to wherever you're going. And then also I'm reading the book when it comes to 75 Hard. The book that I'm on right now is Mel Robinson. I think Mel Robinson. I think it's Robinson. Let Them. So one thing I'm realizing with her is the let them theory, and that's another thing that's actually clicking with me, things like that. And so it's like all these things are correlating together, I think, to help me understand myself more, help me understand how to move better for God, as well as how to move better for myself, as well as for my family. Because as fathers, of course, we're leaders, so we have to understand that. We have to understand life so we can teach, so we can overflow. And that's one of the major goals out of all this, is to make that happen. And man, look at my elbows. Freaking, my bad, I'll freaking cut off what I was saying, but I was saying look at my elbows, because the fact is like this is training with my boxer. We did some darn planks / push-ups. You plank for a certain amount, then boom, boom, push up, boom, 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 plank, and it planked my elbows. But anyways, my bad. Cause I was looking at it while I was talking, I got sidetracked. But like I said, I feel like that's how life should be. We should, like, as men and as fathers, learn ourselves, learn God, saying and move with Him. That way we can overflow into our family and build a foundation within the family on God. Because it's just so much is uncontrollable in our life, but with God, it's like everything is understandable to a sense, if that makes sense, but we're gonna keep this one rolling, man. We're gonna keep moving. I appreciate anybody that's seeing these videos, appreciate anybody that's tuning in, and if you're new, please do subscribe and walk with me through this journey. Maybe you can help me, maybe I can help you, and that's another thing. I ran across this guy that mentioned one time, it's like maybe our obedience to God, actually it ain't even maybe, our obedience to God is never for us. It's for someone else's breakthrough. So realize that your obedience to Him is never for you. It's for someone else's breakthrough. You got to realize that business you're wanting to start, or whatever it is you're wanting to do, and you feel like God's heavy on your heart to do it, it's never for you. It's for you to align yourself with Him, but also it's for someone else's breakthrough. And I thought that was one of the most powerful things. It's just understanding that, following Him is never for us. It could be for the person that you meet tomorrow, and you open up a door and had a little slight conversation with someone, and you could have said, I hope you have a blessed day, and boom, flick of the switch, you just saved that person's life. Or flick of the switch, you just made that person's day so much better. That's the beauty of it. Lifting each other up, support, and loving each other. Letting everybody know it's okay not to be okay at times. But there's understanding in not being okay with God. So we're going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it going. I appreciate you guys. And as always, peace, love, and happiness. Big faith. Let's go.